Welcome back, my friends. Welcome to 4th grade, chapter 12, lessons 1, 2, and 3. Don't panic, don't panic. This is another one of those situations where last spring you didn't get to do these lessons because you were at home. So that is not a problem. I'm going to catch you up. And this fits actually perfectly into our 5th grade chapter 11, and this is before lesson 9. So this kind of fits perfectly into where we are now, which is heading into the metric system. You may recall, you might have thought I got rid of this, but I didn't. You may recall our chart that we were building with the American customary system. I remember the other one that I forgot, and so I put it on, and that was temperature. We measure temperature in Fahrenheit. Yeah, so I knew there was one. I should have just looked at my notes, right? Yeah. So we are now in the next series of lessons going to fill in this side of the chart, okay? So this is a little bit different in that we're catching up, so we're going kind of super fast, but don't worry, because we are going to take each one of these sections. We're going to talk a little bit today about distance, weight, and capacity measured in the metric system. But we're really only going to talk about the words, the vocabulary. I have created a special note for you because the metric system kind of is organized a little bit differently than the customary system. As you know, the customary system deals with body parts, right? Well, the metric system deals with the number 10. 10, my favorite. Everything is 10. So, and right now you're like, oh, big deal. But you wait, you're gonna love it. So, we have, well, I'll talk about that later. We have 3 basic units for the metric system, and they measure distance, weight, and capacity. You've heard of them, I know you have. The basic unit of distance is the meter. And a meter is about that long. Almost like a yard, but about this much longer than a yard. That's a meter. In the metric system, we measure weight in grams. And a gram is about the size of a little green pea. They're very, very tiny. Why so tiny? Science. In science, oftentimes we require very, very small measurements. In the building industry, we require very, very precise small measurements, which is why we had to go to 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, that kind of thing. Remember? Well, in the metric system, we can get really, really small. The basic unit is the gram. For capacity, the basic unit is the liter, which is, I believe, a little bit larger than a quart. So that gives you an idea in your head of size. If we are doing these lessons in class, I have a lot of examples to show you of meters, grams, and liters. If we're not in class, you could probably hunt around your house. I wonder how many you could find. I bet you'd find more than you think. Might want to give that a try. So those are the basic units. But then we have 3 smaller and 3 larger. So there's all kinds of room in the metric system for very, very large measures and very, very small measures. And they use a prefix system. And this is where 10 comes in, very important. The smaller measures, now some of them you've heard of, some of them you've not. The smaller measures are deci, centi, and milli. Deci means 10th, centi means 100th, and milli means 1,000th. And they're very descriptive of what they are. So a milliliter is 1,000th of a liter. A millimeter, you've heard of those, is 1,000th of a meter. Very, very itty bitty, yeah. On the other side, we can go very, very large. We can go to, they also have 3 different prefixes, deca, hecto, and kilo. You heard of that one, right? Deca means 10, and it's a hard K, not a S, a soft C. Hecto means 100, and kilo means 1,000. So if we have a kilometer, that means it's 1,000 meters. A kilogram, 1,000 grams. That's the most common. So you probably know the most commonly used prefixes are kilo, centi, and milli. But the others do exist, and that's important to know when we are converting. We'll get to that later. Right now, we're only interested in the words. So you will have a copy of all of that to show you what the words mean. What I want you to do with that, use your note and use your 4th grade Volume 2 My Math book, starting on page 775. So if you want to take a second and flip to that, 4th grade Volume 2 My Math book. We are going to look at lessons 1 through 3. What? Yeah, it's only going to take a second. So as you flip through, notice on page 775, we're dealing in distance. So there's your units of length. I've talked about those. Take a look at the pictures. Okay, you can do a few on the independent practice on page 777 if you want. You don't have to. Then on page 781, you have the units of capacity. Your basic is your liter. Take a look at the pictures because that gives you an idea of the sizes of things. Take a look at your independent practice. You can do a little bit of those if you want, just to get an idea. Page 787, your units of mass. Grams. Take a look at the pictures. The mass of a penny is about a gram. Mass is the space that takes the amount of matter an object has, okay? You can take a look at the pictures and do a few of them. They're always kind of fun because the pictures are fun to see if you get right. Then, your assignment, using the information in your My Math book and your note, your assignment is to do page 793 and 794, which is a check my progress. It's vocabulary mostly, and getting an idea of the sizes of things. There's not really any calculation. I just want you to get an idea about how the metric system works. Next time when we come back to the next video, we'll be carrying on with our 5th grade book to talk about converting units and getting back on track. So if you have any questions, please email me or bring your questions to class and we will deal with them later. I will talk to you soon. Bye now.